Hi, this is Claudia Rinaldi, and I'm here to show you an example of the record of problem solving and progress monitoring conversation protocol. This protocol was developed to get teachers to be able to discuss students who are in the process of receiving Tier 2 and Tier 3 interventions. What you see here is this protocol breaks up how teachers can discuss the students in a service team meeting or a grade level team meeting. There's always a facilitator that will develop the agenda and let us know which students we're going to talk about, and the teacher should bring additional data to make sure that we can complete all the information that is in the upcoming page. When discussing a student, we want to be able to make sure that we are ready to discuss them in 11 minutes. This seems very quick, but this is just a kind of a screening process for developing the intervention and making sure that the intervention is happening, and being able to maximize the time to address at least 4 or 5 students in any given hour common planning time meeting or data-driven MTSS meeting, however your school calls it. In the first 2 minutes, the classroom teacher provides and reviews relevant information about the students so that we always begin with the student's strength. The next 3 minutes, the teacher reviews how core curriculum or Tier 1 is happening effectively in her classroom. If the child is an English language learner, we want to make sure that the ESL teacher is being consulted on how to support the Tier 1 instruction in the classroom so that there is either a preview, review, or post review of the content that is presented, in addition to strategies that the classroom teacher could use to shelter the instructions, such as sentence starters, um, student interactive activities that allow the student to use oracy, which is talking about academic work or content, and also the use of cognates, graphic organizers, the native language, or any other strategy that the ESL teacher recommends in order for the student to access Tier 1 at the best capacity. The next 3 minutes, the team of teachers brainstorms an intervention that meets the student's needs. They consider all the interventions that are available and also the needs of the individual student. If the student is an English learner, we want to make sure that the ESL teacher is providing consultation in this brainstorm. We also want to make sure that the intervention is addressing particular areas that you have identified through the screening process that the child may have that are a challenge right now for meeting grade level expectations. For example, if the child is reading below grade level from the screening or the universal screener, we want to make sure that there is a diagnostic assessment that tells us exactly which of the 6 areas of literacy the student needs support in for the Tier 2 intervention. Remember, those 6 areas are phonics, fluency, comprehension, vocabulary, oral language proficiency, that we call oracy, and decoding. So we want to make sure that you're looking at all those areas and decide which one the student needs support in for an English learner. You also want to make sure that you provide information from the ESL teacher to the student, to the teacher that will be working on delivering the Tier 2 or 3 support. In some cases, the teacher who is the ESL teacher, after providing the ESL supports, may also serve as an interventionist as well as any other teacher. So all teachers need to be informed of how the intervention is going to happen and how they're going to shelter the information so that the student is able to benefit from the tier support. If you're already reviewing a student that is getting intervention, the process is a little bit quicker because some of this information is here and you'll only need to update. Now let's move to the actual record of problem solving and progress monitoring worksheet. Again, what you see here is an individual process for each student. You begin with the strengths, the area of concern, your goal for getting him to grade level or access to the general curriculum, and an action plan that describes the intervention and who will implement it. The who is really key for English learners because it needs to be in consultation with the ESL teacher. In this first section, what you'll see is that we look at which is the area of difficulty for the student that is being brought up to the MTSS team for a possible Tier 2 or Tier 3 intervention. There's also here a column that allows us to write down which was the universal screening scores in each of those areas. Here, we review Tier 1. We do this so that we are ensuring that high quality tier 1 instruction is provided to all students and that students are not taken out to be given something supplemental or what we call a Tier 2 intervention instead of the actual curriculum content. You'll also see in each of this box, and you only fill one of these boxes, you have a box that says the intended delivery and then whether it was actually delivered or not. So we want to make sure that at every point we look at what was intended to be delivered and whether we actually delivered it or not before we make a change to stop, change, continue, or add to the current intervention. There are 5 cycles. If we do 4 to 6 weeks each in each year, we get to 5 cycles where we review students that need Tier 2 and Tier 3 intervention. So there are more than 5 cycles in this example, but the goal here is if you need more space to follow up or closer ability to follow the students, we could definitely see how they're making progress or response to intervention. At the end of this form, what you'll see is an end of year summary, and this as the goal is to provide it to the next year's teachers so that they know where to continue the intervention that worked. I hope this is a great summary that provides you an example of how you could create your own record of problem solving in MTSS, or at least you can use it to create or start your team in working towards delivery of effective Tier 2 and Tier 3 interventions for all students, including English learners. Thank you.